about y'all, but I don't remember much from when I was 5 years old. But one distinct memory I do have is of my very first hunt with my dad. It started like this. He woke me up at the crack of dawn, bundled me up in a bunch of oversized hunting clothes, drove us out to a peanut field in the middle of nowhere, West Texas, dragged me out the truck into the freezing cold weather, where he gave me a shovel, so I was supposed to dig a shallow grave for us to lay in. And at this point, I'm wondering, like, what is going on here? I'm not sure if I like this. And so, with all the commotion going on in the pitch black darkness, all I could do was lay there and hold on to my Red Ryder BB gun that I had with me for protection. And, I decided that I was really, really cold and started to doze off. But as soon as the sun rose and my dad gave me a little nudge, it was like, Logan, they're coming, get ready. So I get my BB gun and I get ready. And then boom, 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 boom. We both jump up, start shooting. And from that moment, I've been hooked. And my dad and I have been hunting buddies ever since then. And one thing that led me to continuing on this experience was, how many of you out there today enjoy or have had a similar experience with your father? So then you may understand that it didn't stop there. And since we've been hooked on it ever since, we've been chasing birds across Texas and Louisiana since the very first hunt we had. And so I wanted to do something to give back a few years ago. And so I decided to plan a trip for us to go kill mallard greenheads in Oklahoma. And the first thing I did, as a college student knows best, is went straight to Google, typed in outfitters in Oklahoma, clicked on the first one I saw, looked good enough, decided, hey, this is gonna be a reputable guy. Booked it over the phone, didn't have to send a check in the mail, didn't pay a deposit. However, I was planning on providing a great experience for my dad, and that was my goal. But that wasn't how it turned out. We got to Oklahoma, everything was a shit show, so to speak. So, what was supposed to be 3 days of hunting turned into one hunt with 13 other hunters, and not a single shot was fired. And all I could think about was how there's companies out there like Airbnb who are providing unforgettable experiences at the click of a button, but there was nothing for the outdoor and hunting and fishing industry that solved this problem that I had. And I'm Logan Meaux, and this is Joel Moreau, and we're the founders of Mallard Bay.
So after Logan's experience, we set out and interviewed over 500 sportsmen across the US and found that the frustrations that he experienced were prevalent across the industry. When people set out to find a trip, they're met with inconsistent information in Facebook groups and hunting forums and outdated outfitter websites. Next, there's no secure payment solutions. People are forced to send a check in the mail or cash to someone halfway across the country, which leads to a lack of trust. Like this guy who had a falling out with his outfitter 3 days prior to their trip. Who's to say that this guy even got his money back? This is not a one-off example, but the more you interview people, these instances are pretty prevalent. So all in all, these lead to a time-consuming booking process, on average over 7 days, and 80% of respondents agreed that they were looking for a better way to book guided hunting and fishing trips.
So what's frustrating for sportsmen is even more frustrating for outfitters. Do you want to be competing against other people in in the Facebook comments of a Facebook group? Look, there's 121 comments just for this one lead in a Facebook group. These guys want to be out there making a living. They don't want to be in a Facebook group with other people competing. They want to be out there providing an experience for their clients. They don't want to do this. And so the outfitters lack time and resources, and this is causing trouble collecting payments, a long booking cycle, and outdated booking systems, which 3 in 5 outfitters rely on paper calendars still.
So all in all, this leads to millions of dollars of trips going unbooked every single season. And look, we've been sportsmen all our lives, and after experiencing this frustrating booking process firsthand, we set out to build a solution that would make it easier to find and book trips with vetted outfitters and charters. And our solution is the Mallard Bay platform, an Airbnb-style booking marketplace where sporting enthusiasts can browse and book trips with verified outfitters and charters all across North America. So when you visit mallardbay.com, you can search by state or species, and then you can also compare trips based on price and location with our interactive map, and then you have all the information that you need to make a decision on which outfitter or charter you'd like to go with.
So once you find an outfitter you're interested in, the booking process is simple. It works just like Airbnb. You select your dates, you select options like meals and lodging, and you're able to click reserve to make a request. using Stripe secure payments to make sure that everybody in the end is using a safe, secure payment processor.
So once a booking is requested, an outfitter is going to receive a text or email notification to log into the outfitter backend system, which is the flexible management system built in-house by the Mallard Bay development team. And utilizing this dashboard, they can create and edit their listings, they can manage their availability as well as how many spots are available on each date. They can view their upcoming requested and completed bookings, as well as all the sportsman information in the bookings dashboard. And then once they accept the payment, once they accept the booking, the payment is processed. And that outfitter is able to get paid months, sometimes years in advance, that they can then turn around and reinvest into their businesses, lock down more land, or hire more guides. So to sum things up, we provide value to both sides of the marketplace. For sportsmen, we present a safe, easy, and reliable way to book trips with secure payments and real-time availability. And for outfitters, we allow for cost and time savings with direct deposit and a flexible calendar system. So we're positioned to capture and share in a growing market. We have a total addressable market of $157 billion, which is all outdoor recreational activities, such as hunting, fishing, as well as wildlife watching. We also have a serviceable addressable market of $35 billion, which includes hunting and fishing related retail expenditures, and then a target market of $7 billion, which is the US and Canada outfitting and charter industry. And this industry has been growing at a rate of 11.5% year over year since 2014, according to the Canadian Federation of Outfitting Associations. And then if you look at these bubbles to the right, this shows that there were almost 40 million active sportsmen that went on 530 million overnight hunting or fishing trips, according to the 2016 Wildlife and Fisheries Report. So here you'll see our ambitious product roadmap divided up by quarter as well as years. So in November of this year, we launched our MVP web app, and since then we've been refining the product and launching new features such as video, on-platform messaging, a two-sided reviews and rating system. And then in March of this year, we launched our white label booking solution, which allows outfitters to directly integrate their payment systems and interactive calendars on their websites so that people can book directly with them. It allows us to take advantage of their existing clientele, their organic traffic, and capture more market share. Additionally, we're going to be launching our mobile app by the end of this summer, which will allow us to capture more bookings with push notifications and post-hunt checkouts. And then we're going to continue to launch exciting integrations that make it easier for these outfitters to manage their businesses with things like Google Calendar integration, weather APIs, and QuickBooks. And then as time goes on, we'll continue to launch exciting new ways to pay, such as trip financing and trip insurance.
So we run a simple business model. 8% fee paid by the sportsman as a convenience fee. The outfitter pays a 3% credit card processing fee that they're already paying at the point of sale. So essentially, it's free for them to join, which has allowed us to quickly decide, hey, other revenue streams are here, like the booking widget. This is an average contract value for us of $600, so an outfitter pays us $50 a month. They're still going to pay the credit card processing, and we're even able to still make a markup on the trips booked directly through their website. We also offer marketing services with an average contract value of about $12,000. This way we can have control over the experience in which sportsmen are receiving leads, or outfitters are receiving leads from their marketing channels, as well as offering subscription websites, and even far out in the future, an outdoor gear marketplace offering more products at point of sale, as well as trip insurance and trip financing, as Joel mentioned before.
So Mallard Bay offers a host of features and benefits that differentiate us from our competitors. For one, we have industry low fees, especially compared to the status quo of hiring a booking agent, which is usually going to take 10-20% on each trip booking. And then some of our other competitors charge fees upwards of 20 or 30% to the charters. So this encourages outfitters to list trips with us at lower prices and incentivizes sportsmen to want to book through us. Additionally, we're the only one with a booking widget that offers a product like that integrates directly with your website. We take advantage of co-branding, benefiting from the 10, 20, sometimes 30 years of experience and reputations that these businesses have built for themselves. We're not just going to list something as guided duck hunt. And then we also have a simple calendar system, one of the only platforms with video uploading, and we are by far the market leader when it comes to social media following with over 90,000 followers on Instagram. So our host of features and our business model are very attractive to outfitters and have allowed us to add over 115 outfitters and charters since our launch in November. And our current partners offer over $125 million worth of trips each year. And our outfitter base has been growing at a rate of almost 57% since the end of November. So how do we acquire these outfitters? The majority of them, especially in the beginning, came from referrals from other outfitters or sportsmen that have gone on trips with them, as well as cold calling, going to in-person conservation events, social media presence, and organic signups. So how do we vet these outfitters? It's important that we maintain. It's important that we maintain quality on our platform. So we make sure that they have proper licensing requirements, Google and Facebook reviews to cross-check them. We make sure to contact their references, and then nobody goes live on our site until they've had one or several phone calls or in-person meetings with someone on our team. So here's our growth strategy. The first step in the strategy was obviously establishing a strong outfitter base. But now that we're in 28 different states, 5 different countries, we're broadening our approach. So we have established a strong organic social media presence. We've been featured on 7 prominent outdoor podcasts with over 250,000 monthly listeners. We have strategic partnerships with several large outdoor brands and influencers. We've seen a lot of success in our digital marketing campaigns, specifically on Facebook. We're able to target people based on location, their interests, and their spending habits. Where the call to action is speak with one of our sales reps, and then we match them up with an outfitter with dates or a trip that meets their budget. We also participate at direct selling and conservation events, and then we retain and grow our user base through our referrals and rewards program, where sportsmen are able to earn duck bucks that they can then turn around and use for trip credits or discounts with our partner brands.
We've experienced explosive growth through the actionable growth strategy that Joel just mentioned. Since our launch in November, we've processed $230,000 worth of transactions through the Mallard Bay platform, boasting a compound monthly growth rate of 36% for gross bookings, and our revenue has grown at 47% compounded monthly due to the additional revenue streams that we talked about earlier, as well as an average booking value of $2,100 and a blended LTV to CAC of 2.73. We're also excited to tell you that our 28% rebook rate, 28% of the sportsmen who booked through Mallard Bay have rebooked through the platform. So, Lori stole my thunder a little bit earlier, but I'm Logan Meaux, the founder and president. 4 years of startup experience at the Waiter app, where we went from 0 to ringing the bell at the NASDAQ. That was a very cool experience for my family. And Tam, our technical co-founder, we're lucky to have him, 9 years of software development experience. Joel, Chief Growth Officer, prior experience at a tech-focused investment bank. I'm lucky he didn't go into investment banking, thank God. Director of Business Development, Wyatt Mallett, spent time with me working at the Waiter app, as well as Jacob Henderson, our head of product, 10 years leading successful product life cycles, as well as Scott Blowman, our outsourced CFO, which allows us to have cost savings, as well as have someone with experience on a team with exits totaling $300 million.
So we have an accomplished team of board members and advisors, including Mr. Chris Meaux, who is the executive chairman of the board, also our largest investor and supporter to date. He's the founder and former CEO of Waiter. We've mentioned that several times now, but we have Hal Calais, who is the founder of Calais Capital, the largest and most active VC fund in Louisiana. Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois, who is a major influencer in the outdoor space. He's the founder of Duck Camp Dinners. He'll have his own show on Netflix in the fall, and he has sponsorships from Ford, Yeti, and Meat Eater. We have Barton Howard, Brian Bell, CEO of Split Software, who has raised $83 million last year. And then we're actively looking for a female advisor with experience in marketplaces or high-growth SaaS companies. So terms and use of funds. In order to accelerate the growth and development of our platform, our board has approved a funding round. We're raising $1.5 million with the opportunity to oversubscribe up to $2 million. This is a price round of preferred stock at a $9 million pre-money valuation. So far we have about a third accounted for in term sheets, another third with verbal commitments, but that last third is still available for investments, and happy to talk to anyone here. And then also the breakup of that, the majority is going to go towards development costs. We're going to be hiring another senior full stack developer and another junior developer a year from now to execute on our ambitious roadmap. Also going to invest heavily into marketing and looking to bring marketing more in-house with a full-time growth marketer. Sales, bringing some of our part-time guys on full-time, also allocating funds to go to some of these in-person events. And here's our financial outlook. With the main drivers here are going to be active sportsmen, with the assumption being made that once you acquire a sportsman, they're going to make 2 bookings in a 12-month period, which will lead to bookings growth, thus leading to our projections for gross bookings of $2.5 million in 2022, $14 million in 2023, and $60 million in 2024. We do expect to raise another round of funding sometime in the next 18 to 24 months. We believe that this next round of growth capital will allow us to achieve profitability. So exit strategy, we'll get more into this in Q&A. I know we're running a little over. But lastly, we want you to be a part of our mission to expand access to successful guided hunting and fishing trips, while also building the back-end solutions that make it easier for these businesses to manage and grow. So at this point, I invite y'all to scan this QR code if you want to check out the Mallard Bay app, or you can visit mallardbay.com. Then here's our contact information if you'd like to connect afterwards. So with that, happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
I just ran a I was on the App Store looking for Mallard Bay and it didn't pop up.
Right. So right now it's just built as a web app. So you know it's hosted all online. You might have a better answer to this, and it's going to be a mobile app by the end of this summer. So it was built to scale into a mobile app.
Yes, so by the end of this quarter, we'll have our outfitter-facing mobile app, which they'll be able to manage their availability, and then the next thing that comes at the end of Q3 will be the mobile app for the sportsmen.
Is the service free? Or is it on a subscription model?
Yeah.
Explain a little bit that.
Yeah, sure. So it's a transaction-based model, right? So if you're a sportsman, you're going to pay a 5 to 8% booking fee on each trip, depending on the size of the booking. And then the outfitters essentially are able to sign up at no added cost, just payment like credit card processing. And then it's also a flexible model, so you know we try to make 8% on each trip, but the outfitter can split that up and say, hey, I don't want to show a booking fee, just I'll take the 8%. And then the booking widget that integrates directly with your website, here, that is a subscription-based model that the outfitters are paying for. It's $50 a month, and then we lower our fees down to 5%.
So the outfitters pay.
Yeah, so for the booking widget to have it like on your site, yeah, they pay for that. And then they also pay us for like marketing services. You know, we'll run some of their social media, run ads for them, or you know, send a photographer to go.
How many have you signed? What kind of churn rate have you had since you launched?
So, yeah.
That's a great question. We've only churned, I mean, 5 to 6 outfitters in total, and outfitters that are just have decided that hey, we're not the right fit right now, and that's about what we've churned. Well, we do turn away a significant amount of outfitters just because we don't trust them exactly. You know, you can search them on Google or Facebook and find out anybody saying something about them. So it's really easy for us to weed
How do
them
you
out.
sign them off? What's the process when you bring those guys on board?
Yeah, great question. So usually we can, the backend system is super easy and user-friendly. Like they could go on, send them the link, they could go onboard themselves, right? Put their name, put their location, put their descriptions, pictures, prices, and all of that. And then we connect their bank accounts through Stripe. But then also for the majority of our outfitters, like if they have a great website, we'll just go on and make their page for them, send them their login information, and then send them a bunch of videos that educate them on how to use the platform.
Like, do you do background checks? So I'm just curious, do you go through that progression as well, kind of? Like, to do a
So we like currently like the main vetting system is first based on like license requirements, right?
No criminal background.
No criminal background checks currently, but
licensing and all that.
Yes.
right, exactly, and really just making sure that the beauty of this industry is if you really suck, we'll find out pretty quick, right? to some extent, like
True.
Facebook and Google reviews and calling different people that have gone with you.
So I noticed you had that some of those there, and I'm part of a local fundraising organization, and we sell about 80,000 unsettled auctions a year. And 1/3 of them are shit shows, as you said. And they do them once and we don't do them again.
Yeah.
I think that's a completely new market for you there. Just feel, because we're not the only ones that have that problem. You know, there's a lot of different fundraising organizations that do donated funds and so on and so forth. And they're paid donations, so you know, we have to pay a baseline. So that's, I think, another very good market for you to get to. So that we are not embarrassed when we have to refund money to people for hunts that they pay for.
Right. No, 100%. And we're very involved with Ducks Unlimited. In fact, we're the title sponsors of the Louisiana Ducks Unlimited banquet in June. And yeah, we usually give away some trips, but yeah, I can understand that's definitely a huge problem to run into.
So what liability do you guys have when it becomes a shit show? When you book a hunt a year from now and you go to your hunt and it's totally not what you booked?
Right.
That's a great question, and we rely on the outfitter's own personal cancellation and refund policy. However, we are there to have a conflict resolution process. to make sure that everybody at the end of the day is even able to either get a refund or a trip credit of some sort, or even be able to just reschedule their trip if it was canceled for some, weather-related reason or so. But if you talk about like the legal liability and risk associated with that, that is a risk because this is a dangerous industry to be involved in, and that's why we have cyber liability as well as other, umbrella insurance policies for the company.
And when you go on a trip, like you're in direct communication with the outfitter, so you're going to sign their own like liability and stuff like that. Like the liability is basically passed on outside of the platform once the actual you're going on the trip. But if there's a cancellation or you're having trouble getting your money back, or that's where we step in as essentially intermediaries between you and the sportsman. And on over 100 trips, we've only had to reimburse 2 trips. They're both because of the weather, and it was pretty seamless, right? The outfitter agreed, and they went back to us.
I know you had to skip a few slides, so can you go ahead and discuss your exit strategy, valuation,
yes.
multiples, et cetera? Sure.
Joel?
Yeah, sure. So our exit could go in several different ways. For one, these high growth outdoor tech companies, the whole outdoor tech space is growing very rapidly. And these 3 companies here have raised over $200 million in the last 2 years. So it could potentially be a great bolt-on acquisition for a company like OnXFine, who recently raised a almost $100 million funding round at a $700 million valuation, right? And that Outdoorsy is another large company that could be a potential acquirer. And then also legacy outdoor brands or booking platforms like Bass Pro Shops, Orvis, Booking.com, companies that are already somewhat in this space. And then as far as the multiples, so this is based on revenue multiples of other publicly traded marketplaces, so such as Fiverr, Airbnb. They have a median revenue multiple at the trading hour now of 24.4x. And this is kind of just showing some of the raise to date and other outdoor tech companies in the space. Yeah.
I heard you guys mention that you guys are in 5 different countries as well.
Yeah.
How does it work internationally, just with like regulations and insurance and
Yeah.
getting people to go from the U.S. to Argentina for a hunt or whatever it may be?
Right. Yeah. So the main one that we have, or probably the most amount of outfitters in it, is Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So the main difference there is, for one, a lot of their restrictions just got lifted off of COVID. So there's a huge pent up demand there that people that haven't been able to go the last couple of years. As far as their regulations and restrictions, it's really all just based on you and the outfitter, I guess, after the point of booking the trip. They do have extra taxes that we factor in, if they list them without on their site, then we're gonna make sure they add the taxes and fees into their price listing on our trip, so that they don't have to pay for that afterwards.
Right.
That makes sense.
Is
Yes.
it most of those outfitters are inclusive? Is everything included
Yes.
as far as the board and everything?
Yep.
Yes, so the all-inclusive aspect is one of the target, ideas that we have around, providing an all-encompassing experience, because we want to partner with outfitters that are used to providing a superior experience on the back end, and it's not just some Joe Blow that is, renting out his camp for the weekend. It is a consistent and repeatable experience for the person going.
Which is incredibly important. Something I probably didn't touch on enough is our targeting towards corporate trips, right? So some of these large lodges in Canada or North Dakota or something like that can hold 25, 30 different people, and they have this all-inclusive experience where it's almost like a resort when you're not hunting. So yeah, definitely.
So Canada's, what other countries in there? Are you going to basically stay in English, or are you going to look to do, I'm going to Argentina and stuff? Will these all be English, or are you going to have?
Yeah. I'll let you answer.
I wouldn't necessarily put a language barrier on it, where we're willing to go. Many of the people and operators of these businesses are from America, actually. So they're going to these countries where the land is cheap, they're buying it up, and then they're able to, take what they've even learned in their outfitters in Texas, Louisiana, wherever else in the United States, and kind of push that.
like African
Yes, definitely.
safaris and
Yeah, so we have one outfitter listed in South Africa right now. Namzan Safaris, he also has a lodge listed in Texas. It's one of the largest ones in South Africa. We have a charter listed in Cape Verde, Africa. We just signed up a waterfowl outfitter in New Zealand, several in Canada, Mexico. We're looking at adding some in Argentina right now. So any introductions you have there would be great. Or I'm really just curious to hear how your experience will go. But
Just curious, are there any other industries where you can leverage your technology? So maybe I'm not a hunter, but I love golf, which I don't, but I love golfing. I'm sorry, guys. You know,
Is it like the next?
where you could leverage all the technology, but for a different type of activity, if you will. Have you thought about that, and what might those be?
Yes, so that's a great question, and the example I like to use is just take a Texas exotic ranch, but has a really nice lodge on it. Well, they're not gonna put that on Airbnb because there is a whole other operation going on outside of that, but you could take the lodge of the ranch and no hunting to go with it and still rent out that lodge. And also with the booking widget technology, we can essentially change the name of outfitter to host or outfitter to golf shop, you know, same type of concept.
Or-
Yes, it is licensable.
yeah, or raft guide or zip lining. Like the other day, I was just looking on our platform, and we have an automatic sign up system. Like you can go on, you're not going to be approved until. But there was like 3 different rafting companies, 2 in Colorado, 1 in Arkansas, that had come on, just created their own accounts, like basically seeing if they could do it. So 100%, it's scalable into other industries.
One more question.
Yes, I agree with that.
I do some of the legal work for this group, and I'm looking at your term sheet.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if, and I don't see it, I was wondering if you'd be open to an anti-shit show clause.
I think we can talk to our lawyers about working that in.
But it's in our terms of service. It's a price equity round.
Oh, so you're doing a price.
Price round, yeah.
Correct.
Great. Well, now